Eco-villages are very situation dependent. So depending on what the situation, what the conditions are, wherever a village decides to form or people come together to live cooperatively, it's totally dependent on what their situation is. So that would be the same in China as anywhere else in the world. So, you know, I mean, there are a few eco-villages that are within cities. They're urban neighborhoods. You know, and I think that's an important thing that we're going to see more and more of as over the next 10 or 15, 20 years. It just totally depends on where you are, but the eco-village model is applicable anywhere on the planet. You know, the things that happen in eco-villages can be done in a big city. It could be done on a city level. There is a fellow in the United States named John Todd who does biological water treatment systems. And that can be done in a local community. They've done it in a university, that all the waste goes through a filtration system and it feeds, before the end of the cycle, aquaculture, fish in a greenhouse. But it can also be treated for a whole city. Where I went to college, there was a demonstration sewer plant, and there were filtration ponds, sediment ponds, where the sediments came out in the bottom, and there were reed beds growing up the reed plants. And then by several ponds down, there was again fish, aquaculture ponds. So this can happen anywhere. Wetlands are one of the best filtration, purification systems on the planet. Now, unfortunately, we've destroyed half the wetlands around the planet. So I think that we will see a growing effort to restore wetlands and to change our sewage systems. 2.6 billion people don't have sanitation, you know, no toilets. It's like, well, it's too expensive to put in a developed country sanitation system in the developing world. But if you want to put a biological waste treatment, well,
that solve the problem.
Well, it's just a little early to tell still, but I think it's incredibly promising. One thing that happened today that I didn't expect is there's this group called Earth Group, I think is the name, and they're developing an eco-village project near where the epicenter of the earthquake was. And you know, he came and introduced himself to me after the presentation today, and you know, I said, it's wonderful what you're doing. And he says, well, that's what I think about what's happening with you in the Global Eco-Village Network. We really want to learn from you. You know, and before I did the presentation, I did research on what's happening in China. There are quite a number of communities that are moving in this direction in China. Already I was aware that China is on the way to fastly becoming the global leader in wind energy. On electric vehicles. It already is in terms of solar hot water heating. So I think there's a lot of opportunity to play a key role in community sustainable development, the eco-village model of development, from the small couple hundred people community up to 50,000 people in a city, up to several million people in a city that decides it wants to become as sustainable as possible.